In a time that I think not just DC, but also we may have needed him most, Superman is here, and he continues to impress. I just hope that he doesn't fall victim to the DC formula. What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I wanted to talk about episode 3 of the Adult Swim, Max, and DC animated series My Adventures with Superman, called My Interview with Superman. This episode very quickly follows the events of the previous one, in which Lois, Jimmy, and Clark are looking to continue investigating the news story of Superman before it quickly gets snatched from them by other journalists in a very Team Rocket fashion, which I actually thought was kind of funny. The episode explores Lois's pursuit of Superman to get her story, while the group investigate a gang with some highly advanced weaponry. And man, I have got to say I am really enjoying this show. In a time where Hollywood has grinded to a halt, this may be some of the best content that I've been looking forward to on a weekly basis in quite some time. And as I said in the previous video, I'm really enjoying not just the phenomenal style and animation of the show, but also the voice cast, who continue to convince me that there was no other choice for any of these roles. I really enjoyed this episode as Clark obviously continues his secret double life, but also as he explores his new abilities and struggles with knowing who or even what he really is. And despite this series more or less being the origin story and story beats that we've seen in the past, it also feels refreshing and able to skirt around leaning too heavily into those elements that we've seen time and time again. My only real concern now for the series though, which didn't really occur to me until this episode, is that I hope that it doesn't run into the same issue as the CW Flash TV series, as Clark is discovering a new power every episode, and there will be a villain of the week that will coincidentally be the perfect scenario where new said power can be utilized. Which I think the show can get away with for a little while, but I certainly want the story to evolve beyond that, to where not just cool villains will be coming in on a weekly or occasional basis, but I really hope that it doesn't use that to fall back on, and instead we have a nice evolution of the characters and the overarching storyline isn't sacrificed for the villain of the week model. And I also hope that we continue to get bigger DC connections, and that this builds out a larger branch of the DC animated universe, as it's been suffering as of late. And trust me, I know it is extremely early to be even talking about this or even thinking about it, but I honestly got so excited thinking of how not only Superman specific villains like a Lex Luthor, a Brainiac, or a Doomsday would be incorporated into this show and have some epic fights with Superman, but also how it could be expanded to include potentially Batman, the Flash, and other Justice League members as the show goes on. Though I should reiterate that I want this to remain a very Superman specific show for now, at least until there's a more appropriate time for those things to be incorporated, if they end up happening at all. But as of right now, I would be fully on board to an entire portion of the DC universe dedicated to this style of animation. But as I said at the beginning of this video, I think this is the show that we need right now. It's the one thing that I've been looking forward to week to week, whereas there's another comic book studio, who shall remain nameless in this video, that has their own series going on right now that in my opinion is very much struggling. But then again, DC tends to do animation very well, and they're very much doing just that and exceeding my expectations with this series. So those are my thoughts on episode 3 of My Adventures with Superman, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. How are you feeling about this show so far? Are you enjoying it as much as I am, and do you think that some of my concerns are valid? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, as well as my thoughts on the next episode of My Adventures with Superman. But also don't forget to give us a follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out my thoughts on the previous episode of My Adventures of Superman right over here, or for more DC content, check out this playlist right over here. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, we hope to see you in the next video.